years ago when we studied meditation with the Maharishi in India, we had a real good time, and I always felt it was a very valuable experience, and it was a process that you can always go back to if you're in a turmoil. It's a centering process that I like a lot. And he gave us his book, the great wise man gave us his book, because he was one of the ones that wasn't a fake. Yeah. There were a lot of them around that time who were into Rolls Royces and chicks. And
come here.
He wasn't one of them. And he gave us his book, and I looked to see what he would write besides putting his name in it. And he wrote about, he said, radiate bliss consciousness. And then at the end of it, he just put, enjoy. And I always thought that was really cool coming from him. And I actually met him quite recently, just about a year and a half ago, I think. He lives in the Netherlands now. And he is a spry old codger. He's in his 80s, and he's still working, he's still spreading the message.
He's still a Maharishi, and
he's still going. And I took Stella, my daughter, and James, my son, with me. And I said, would it be okay if we all came to see you? And they said, yeah, okay. So we went in for a meeting with him. And they said, we don't know how long you'll have. You know, it could be over quite quick. We don't know, you know, whether he's tired, he'll get tired quickly, whatever. In the end, it was 4 hours. We just sat chatting for 4 hours. We just had a good old time. But before we went in, Stella said to me, she said, Dad, I got my video camera. Do you think I can shoot a bit of video? I said, well, I don't know. I don't know what the scene is here. I said, but give it to me. I'll put it in my pocket. And at the end of our session, I'll just ask him. I said, is it okay? Well, of course, so the session came and Stella goes,
good
so I said,
good Stella.
I said, Maharishi, I said, would it be okay if we just shot a little bit of video? And he giggled and he said, yeah, of course, you know. So I gave Stella the camera, and she says, she lines it up. She says, okay, Maharishi, what have you got to say for the camera? She's got
a very fine director she is.
And he looks right in the camera. He says, enjoy. It's 30 years later, pretty consistent.